Welcome back to the channel, YouTube. Navy Dad back again with you. And before I start on my new project, which is a Mazda Miata, I know totally different end as a Jeep, but very similar in the fact that you can't just have one. If you have one Jeep, you want another one and another one. If you have one Miata, you want another one and you want another one. I've had 3 of these and I've had 3 Jeeps. So anyway, what I wanted to do is say goodbye to our old friend, and that is our '88 Jeep Cherokee. We sold it last year to buy a late model pickup truck for my youngest son, who is also in the Navy. To drive across the country, because driving a 30-year-old lifted Jeep across country is not a good idea. So we did sell it, and we bought him a F-150, of course. This is Texas, so that's what you do. But I did want to say and kind of maybe show you some things that we did with that Jeep, which was everything. We bought that Jeep for $1,000. It was a one-owner Jeep, bought here locally, lived its entire life here locally in the Dallas area, and was garage kept from new and garage kept in a parking garage when the guy was at work. I mean, even the original headliner, and again, this is Texas, the original headliner was still in perfect condition. The paint and body was great, the interior was great, but it had languished. It had sat for a couple of years. Suspension was shot. I think it had the original shocks on it. Brakes were gone. I mean, we're talking goo in the master cylinder. So that was going to be my oldest son's first vehicle. We bought it back in 2008 or 2009, and one thing led to another, and everything came out of the truck. Engine was on an engine stand, axles were on the workbench, everything came out. And we rebuilt every single thing on that truck. And we used every internet trick on that truck. Changed the cooling system, changed the brakes, changed the dash gauge cluster, built our own electrical system, built our own roof rack. We did everything. So I didn't film it, but I did take pictures of everything along the way with my boys. My boys learned a lot. They enjoyed it. They got greasy, and they're much better for it. So I kind of break this up into 2 different parts, kind of before, during, and after. And if you have questions about how I did something, just drop a note in there, because we did a lot. So anyway, without further ado, here we go. So here it is, day we brought it home for $1,000. One owner, very clean. Great interior, great exterior, paint was in great shape, never been wrecked. Did have some minor hail on the roof and the hood, but not very noticeable with the white paint. And you know, that's to be expected. Hey, this is Texas. Kind of ugly though. Ugly wheels, and of course that ridiculous cladding on the side, that had to go. Well, here it is. We pulled it in the garage on July 9th, 2011. Put it up on jack stands, where it remained until November 2015. Yeah, I know, it took a while. We started out just being brakes, shocks, new front end, and a clutch. And one thing led to another, and before we knew it, the engine was out and the axles were off. And we found fun things like the vacuum system that operates four-wheel drive was broken in like 5 places. But I'll tell you, when we pulled the engine apart, I couldn't believe how really clean it was. The amount of sludge that I found wasn't that bad. And the rear main cap was actually really good shape. I mean, it had no scoring at all. It was very clean. So the vehicle was very well cared for. But we had a lot of fun. And check out part 2, and you can see what we really did to this thing. In fact, my youngest son basically grew up building this Jeep. This will probably embarrass him. Sorry, son. Hi!